What is up, you guys? It's Mo Pond Hoppin here, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to catch fish on this bait right here. This bait, it's a crank fishing Vibin Jig. Alright, so first things first, what I'm going to talk about is my setup that I will throw this on. I throw this on a medium heavy action rod. Why? Because I like to have that soft tip up top so I can feel that bait. Oh, I just missed a fish right there. So I can feel that bait in the water, because if I have too heavy of a rod, then I won't allow that bait to do its job, because the tip of the rod is too stout and it's not allowing it to vibrate in the water like it's erratically like it's supposed to. So that's why I use a medium heavy. I use 20-pound test monofilament line. A lot of people will throw this on straight braid. I just like to stretch in the mono, so that's why I do it. The 20-pound test is definitely just about, I'd go down to lighter line if it was like a little clearer water, but 20-pound test is definitely a good starting line for me. Throw it on 7:0 gear ratio, because as a pond hopper and really a broke fisherman, I don't have the money to just go buy a bunch of reels to fit every situation. 7:0 is a good enough reel that it gets the job done, so that's why I buy that in just about all my reels. I do have some 6:4 but those are mainly for cranking and stuff like that. So when you're fishing this Vibin Jig, you want to keep your rod tip up, not like this. You don't want to keep a rod tip like that, because then you're just going to pull it out of the water. So you want to keep it somewhat up, somewhat down, so right about in there is fine. And you're just reeling it back at a medium pace. You just want to feel the vibration of it in the rod. You don't want to be cranking it back, and you don't want it to be not really doing anything, because if you're not feeling that vibration, then it's not really doing it. A lot of times when I have a fish on, it's because I figure out that because I don't feel the vibration anymore. It's not necessarily that I hear it, that I feel the bite, but it's because it gets heavy and I don't feel that vibration. So that's a great way to know when you have a fish. Another way to know when you have a fish is when they just absolutely smack it, because they smack these Vibin jigs. They will just absolutely come up and annihilate them. That's why it's one of my favorite ways to fish and catch fish, and you'll catch a lot of big fish doing this. So these Vibin jigs will pull big fish out from the bottom. You just got to use them. They're, in my eyes, they are the best pond fishing bait out there on the market. I don't think there's really, besides a topwater frog, you can't really have any more fun on the pond than with a Vibin jig. It's absolutely so much fun because they hit it so hard. All right, so I'm going to talk about two ways that are very common to reel it. The first way is just a steady retrieve back, just being able to feel that tip moving like I said before. And the other way is to yo-yo it. It's just like you would yo-yo like a lipless. You're going to let it fall, and as you're falling, you're reeling in a loose slack, and then you're just bringing it up again. Letting it fall, bring it up. Letting it fall, bring it up. This is a great way to catch these fish that are very active and very aggressively feeding. Because on that, when you jerk that bait up, it really gets their attention. They'll either hit it on that pull up, or they'll hit it on that fall, and that's a fun strike. That's really just any fish with a Vibin jig's fun. All right, so things I look for when I'm fishing a Vibin jig. First off, dirty water. A Vibin jig, absolutely stellar in dirty water. You can't get much better of a dirty water bait, just because of the action and the noise and the commotion that it causes underwater. It's just second to none. For dirty water, you have to have one of these tied on. For clear water, you can still catch fish on a Vibin jig. It works almost like a swim jig in a way. It's like a more aggressive spinner bait. So you can throw this around cover, around grass, around let's see what else. I throw it around on riprap and catch a lot of fish on riprap throwing a Vibin jig. So just playing around with presentations, and really anywhere you could, this is the way I think of it, anywhere you could throw maybe a swim jig or a spinner bait, you can throw a Vibin jig and catch fish there too. There's one right there. Not a big one. There's a Vibin jig fish right there. I figured out that these fish don't really want it very high in the water column, so like I said before, you got to mess around with that and figure out where they want it. And they want it a little lower, so I put my tip down and reeled a little slower, and I caught my first Vibin Jig fish. So there you go. That is a prime example of what a Vibin Jig can do. It is 95 degrees out right now, midday. I mean, fishing can be tough during this time of day, and they're busting right now. But fishing can be tough during these situations. But this Vibin Jig pulls them out from anywhere. So here's the situation I got right now. Is I fish this pond quite a bit, so there's a lot of weeds right here in front of me, like 10 foot out, and then it's pretty clear, and then about maybe 20 yards out there's just a big patch of weeds. So I'm throwing this Vibin Jig right on the corners of that and landing it right in front and yo-yoing it up or slow rolling it, and that's how I'm catching my fish right now. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many casts in a row this has been. God, caught a fish. But this is absolutely insane. The Vibin Jig is going crazy right now. Boom. What do you think about that, huh? What do you think about that, huh? That's a Vibin Jig fish right there. Absolutely crushed it. Alright, you guys, well, I hope you can learn from that. I hope you can take the Vibin Jig out now and go experience this fun for yourself, because as I showed, you can catch a lot of fish and a lot of quality fish on this bait right here. So get yours and go out there and catch a bunch of fish.